Hello, you're welcome to Astute 2024 day 11, and we're reading Proverbs 11 today. Um, there are quite a number of instructions here in Proverbs 11 that everyone needs to hold there and let it be a guide to our heart. It says that I'm using the KJV version. I didn't charge my other phone, so it's out of power, and so that's why I'm using the KJV version. Even though I have read the CEV version and all of that, but obviously I didn't cram it, so it's not up here. All right, so it says that a false balance is abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. When pride comes, then comes shame, but with the lowly is wisdom. With the humble is wisdom. Whoever is pride can be sure to that person can be sure to receive shame, because shame and pride go side by side. So if you are a proud person, you can be rest assured that shame is at the corner. You can rest assured that shame is at the corner, and it will soon it will soon show up for you. It says riches, I'm going to verse 4 now. Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness deliver it from death. You cannot buy, the CV put it as, money does not buy everything, but righteousness will save you in the day of trouble. You cannot always get everything you want with money, but you cannot avoid death with money. But when you're righteous, you can avoid death, you can avoid every other thing. So that is why it is important. Another verse I love there is that verse 9. It says, an hypocrite with his mouth destroys his neighbor, but through knowledge shall the just be delivered. This is similar to what we learned yesterday, that when someone talks too much, the person is putting themselves in danger. And when you talk too much, you not only put yourself in danger, but you put your fellow in danger, you put your neighbor in danger, you put those close to you in danger, you put your loved ones in danger when you talk too much, when you reveal too much information. Mothers, when you say too much about your children, you are putting them in the hands of the enemy. So when your children are praying against monitoring spirits, you are the one they are praying against, because you are the one being a talebearer, going about to tell the point of success your children are. You are the one sharing it about, and you are the one releasing the information to the enemy. You see, the devil only works with the information he has, and that is why he tries as much as possible to ensure that he gets information from the mouth of believers, either through prayers or while you're gossiping around and all of that. The devil is not all knowing, only God is all knowing. The devil does not know what you've not given him access to. It's only the information you release that the devil has access to. The devil does not know everything about you. It's only the information you release. So that is why, if you talk too much, if you are a talebearer, you need to tame your mouth, you need to tame your tongue, because you will not only put yourself in danger, but everyone around you, you put them in danger. And let me say this, that if you realize that there is someone who is a talebearer, who is your friend, if you have a friend who is a talebearer, you have someone close to you, you have a neighbor, you have a friend who is a talebearer, it is better you stay away from them. Someone who talks too much will put you in trouble. If you find someone who talks too much and you keep telling them everything about yourself, then it means that you are the one exposing yourself to the enemy. So if you know someone and the person talks too much, once you tell them something like this, you hear it in the third street, you hear it from somebody else, it's better you don't reveal anything about yourself to that person. Okay. And verse 11 also says that by the blessing of the upright the city is exalted, but it is overthrown by the mouth of the wicked. By the blessing of the upright the city is exalted, but is overthrown by the mouth of the wicked. So when someone is rich, the richness of one person can lift up a whole nation. But if someone has a wicked mouth, someone has an evil mouth, it can also destroy a whole city. That is why you need to be careful. Verse 12 says that he that is void of wisdom despise his neighbor, but a man of understanding holds his peace. If you're always saying evil about your neighbor, you're always saying, when I'm talking about neighbor, I'm not just talking about the person living beside your house, or the person living in front of your house, or the person living behind your house. I'm talking about those people you love, those people around you. If you're always saying negative things about them, then you can be sure that you are void of wisdom. It's only someone who is void of wisdom that you always say evil about, that you don't have any good report about anybody. Everybody is always doing evil to you. Then you yourself, there is a problem wrong with you that you need to check out somewhere. So if you realize that you're behaving that way, just realize that you are void of wisdom and you need to work on yourself. Verse 17 says that the merciful man doeth good to his own soul, but he that is cruel troubles his own flesh. That one is simple and it is straightforward. Then verse 24 says, there is that scattereth and yet increaseth, and there is that withholdeth more than is meet, but it ended to poverty. If you are someone who gives, through giving you can become wealthy. Through giving you can get wealthy. Through giving you can acquire riches. But if you're stingy, if you are folding your hands together, you can be sure to get nothing. You can be sure to remain on the same spot. I was sharing a story while I was teaching Sunday school sometimes last year in the church, when we were talking about giving, and I'm going to share that story again. I remember while I was working in a private school, before I got a job where I'm working right now, there used to be a man who sits at the gate of my school, like the private school that I was teaching in, I was teaching at, as the case may be. And that man would always sit there when people are passing by, because the school is actually close to the road. So when people are passing by, people will drop people will give him as they wish, as a desire. Does not ask people for money. He just sits there. He's a lame man, actually. He's a lame man. He's crippled, or let me say he's crippled, because he uses crutches and all of that, but he's crippled. So he sits in front of the school to get alms and all of that. And one day I was entering into the school. Remember, I was earning 20,000 then. I was earning 20,000 naira then, when I was, while the Holy Spirit ministered this to me. And I would pay my tithe and other stuff, transport, so you can be sure that what I have left is not even more. And the Holy Spirit ministered to me that I have to pick a particular day of the week, or if I have any money with me, I should ensure that I always give to that man. And I was like, okay. So some days I'll give him as low as 15 naira. If I do not have change, I'll give him 100 naira, because obviously it's not as if I'm that rich. And I can say it categorically that it was true. God used that giving as one of the tools that he used in exalting me and giving me the job I'm doing right now. Because the job I'm doing right now, I did not have any connection, I did not know anybody. As at the time I applied for it, I have a video on it here on my YouTube channel. As at the time I applied for it, I was not even through it. In fact, I think it was that time I just registered for my NYSC. I did not have my NYSC certificate yet when I applied for that job. And I finished my service year in April, May. I got a job in November. And so while I was teaching about giving in church that day, it took me back to memories that while I was giving, the Lord was using that giving to increase my bands of wealth. I'm not like Otedola or like Dangote, but I know the level I am financially, and I know that it is much better than what I used to be, than what I used to have. And I am grateful. I'm not bluffing, or neither am I trying to show myself off, but I'm just trying to tell you that by giving, through giving, you can actually gain wealth. I can assure you, through giving you can gain wealth, because I have tested it. It is something that I have tested. It is something that has worked for me. So I can say it with every sense of assertiveness in me that if you try it, it will work for you also. That's one thing that I believe so much. And so in verse 25 says that the liberal soul shall be made fat, and he that waters shall be watered also himself. He that waters shall be watered also. So if you water people, you would always be watered. If you give to people, you would not know a million people will give to you. If you fill someone's cup, someone will fill your own cup. If you feed people, you will also be fed by people. It is I don't want to say it's the law of karma, but it's a two-way thing. Whatsoever you do is coming back to you. Whatsoever you do is coming back to you. You are claiming that people don't even remember you, people don't even do this, people don't even do that. I can tell you that the moment you start giving what you want to receive, you receive it. Whatsoever you are giving is what you receive. You can't claim that nobody used to call you. How many people have you called? And say people don't used to check on you, people don't used to look for you, and they just leave you on your own. Nobody cares about you, nobody loves you, nobody used to act. How many people do you care for? How many people do you ask how their day went? How many people did you ask What have they eaten? What do they need? Are they fine? When you do it to others, people will do it to you. It might not be that exact person who you do it that will do it back to you, but it will come in ways that you do not expect. So that's another thing I want to know. And verse 26 is the opposite of verse 25. It says, he that withholds scorn, the people shall curse him, but blessing shall be upon the head of him that selleth it. I remember when I was reading the CEV version, the CEV version says that somebody who sells things, and that's not the exact way he puts it, but I'm trying to put it the best way I understand it. Like someone who sells things in an expensive manner, people will curse him. You buy something for 10 naira, instead of you to sell it maybe at the rate of 12 or 13 naira or 15 naira, depending on your transport fare and your own personal gain. You are now selling what you bought at 10 naira, you are selling it at 25 naira, at 30 naira. What the scripture says is that people will curse you, and if people curse you, it will lemu elori. The curse will definitely work. It will. I'm not saying you should not add your profit to it, but what I'm saying is that when you make life unbearable for people just because you're selling something and you're trying to what's that word you're trying to stylishly take things from them, you can be sure that cost is coming upon you. So if you want to sell something, be truthful to it. Be truthful to it. Don't say Ọlọ́run gbọ́ iye tí mo rà nìyẹn when that's not the amount you bought it. Please and please, these words will not stand against us on the last day in Jesus' name. Then verse 28 says that he that trusts in his riches shall fall. If you trust in your riches, if you trust in the money you have, if you put your trust on your salary will fail you. If you put your trust on your business will fail. It's not a curse. So the Bible says that, verse 28, it says, only the righteous shall flourish as a branch. It is those people who put their trust on the Lord that shall flourish as a branch. So verse 31 now says fully that, behold, the righteous shall be recompensed in the earth much more than the wicked and the sinner. So those are the things that really stood out for me in Proverbs chapter 11, and I hope that you also have your own wisdom gems that you've chosen, that you've selected, that would work for you. You've written them out and you've written them on the plates of your heart. I pray God bless you. I pray God bless everything that has to do with you, and I pray that this word will not stand against us on the last day in the name of Jesus. And I hope that you take actions to do better, because we are not just learning, we are gathering wisdom to help us live a fulfilled life in this year. So these are some of the things that we want to inculcate into our lifestyle in 2024. That's why we are doing this in the first month of the year, so we can have the remaining 11 months, or say 10 months, and then we use 1 year for wrap up. 1 month, that's 1 year, we use December for wrap up. We can use February to November to carry out the instructions. I'm not saying after November you should stop, but I'm saying that you have enough time. You have enough time to still to do things, to change things, to rewrite your story in year 2024. And I just pray that the Almighty Lord, the one who breathes inspiration upon man, will breathe upon you, will breathe upon me, and it would help us to do that which we want to do, that which we're expected to do, that the blessings and all the promises the Lord has for us in 2024 will be ours, and the enemy will not snatch it from us in the name of Jesus. I pray God bless you till I see you tomorrow, the 12th. Remain blessed. Bye.